Salutations, my lords and ladies. It is your boys, the movie Connoisseurs, and we are back at it again, reviewing and going over the movie, The Phoenician Scheme, by all-time favorite of mine, the director Wes Anderson. Before anything, I would just like to say, if you haven't seen any of Wes Anderson's films, I highly recommend go checking out Rushmore, The Grand Budapest Hotel, Fantastic Mr. Fox. Those are definitely some of, in my opinion, his greatest works. But please go out and go try them. The Phoenician Scheme is honestly a cornucopia of an amazing cast of people where one man, Anatoly, is trying to find a way to cover the supposed gap from this crazy convoluted scheme he has come up with, where he has a whole bunch of different people working for this kind of scheme while the government is trying to take him out. And he has to figure out a way in which to cover this gap using his know-how and his articulation in order to kind of scheme, plot, and also find a way to be a good dad to his sister. I think it's Liesel. How do you say that, Machi?
Lysel.
All right. But now that I kind of got out of the way, I will just say you should definitely try out the movie, hands down, or just try any of the movies that I listed. But now we're going to go into spoiler central. So if you want to go see this movie first, then come back, I would highly recommend going to see this movie first and coming back. But right now it's going to be spoilers, so spoiler on that, Jace. But back at it again. This is the Connoisseur, your man Emmanuel, and we got
a master of cinema. His name is Machi.
Yakasha. All right, let's hit it off with the Phoenician Scheme. First thing I got to talk about, Machi, is hands down, what did you think of the movie? I know that you've seen a lot of Wes Anderson films like myself, but what did you think so far?
I loved it.
You loved it? Okay.
Really good movie. I really enjoyed my time with it, especially.
That makes me happy. We usually have conflicting views, so I'm actually happy you enjoyed this movie.
It's a good movie. Let me say, I'd say very much, this is not a movie for everyone because it's a very comedic movie. And comedy is very subjective, especially Wes Anderson's comedy. So if you don't like his comedy, you might not like this movie.
Of course. All right. First thing I would start with is the characters. Who would you say was your favorite character, hands down?
Anatoly. It was Anatoly. Then it was Sister Lysel. And after that, it would be the railroad workers. Not the workers, the businessmen.
The businessmen?
They first come meet on the railroad when they come meet him. And
okay. You mean Bryan Cranston playing as Reagan and I'm pretty sure
Tom Hanks.
Yeah, Tom Hanks playing as Leland.
Yes.
Okay. I got you. So you really enjoyed those two guys coming in on the train? How come?
Yeah. Just the dynamic was really fun to me.
Okay.
The whole thing of they're really shrewd, right? Mm-hmm. But they're also really great, especially when they challenge them to the basketball game and they're just crushing it the whole time.
Bro, they're hitting them shots completely.
And their shots, they're trying to one-up each other too, doing it.
For me, I would definitely say, of course, I agree with you. Anatoly was definitely my favorite character. He just hit everything I would ever want for that movie. It was funny. It was beautiful. One of my favorite things about Wes Anderson's films is the use of symmetry, but also just the way he just builds his worlds, man. It seems like they're just phenomenally perfect. Where I'm not whether it's characters acting in a scene or something crazy happening, I'm looking at the scenery and I'm like, wow, this is amazing. Because the first few minutes of the film, after he has his plane crash, Anatoly's just sitting in his bathroom in his bathtub. All these nurses and attendants are walking around, and it's just you don't know what's going on because there's no conversation, but there doesn't need to be because you're looking at the art already, and it's just in that bathroom he's just chilling. Other than him, I would say again, yes, I agree with you. Sister Liesel, she hands down was just an amazing character to just witness, especially her dealing with her daddy issues, but also trying to find her mom's killer. This
also trying to keep morals up the whole
exactly
movie.
Also because she's a nun, but her father would definitely not be on the side of a bit of an atheist, not be on the side of good morals, trying to scam anybody any way he knows how. So, but like she's just working through it, and she's a badass. She's like literally, he didn't even have to tell her to bring a knife. She already had a knife ready to go.
Yeah,
Like she was ready to fight out in the woods, bro. But then also, I will say this: you didn't mention it, but I was also say Michael Cera. I do love him. I do love his character, Bjorn Carlson, especially when he dropped the fact that he was from Delaware, bro. That surprised me. That blew my mind. Because movies and TV shows don't really talk about Delaware. He says like literally first he has like the accent. He's like, my name is Bjorn, and this is a terrible accent by the way. Sorry, viewers, but my name is he's like, my name is Bjorn, and he's like doing this and that. He's talking about bugs, and the next minute is like, I'm completely the same person. He's like, he's a spoiler. Well, yeah, like this is a spoiler part of our video, but he turns out to be a spy sent by the government in order to disrupt Anatoli's practices. So, but then he like literally pulls out like a whole. He just starts smoking. He got a whole mustache on. His hair's a mess.
Brush his hair up.
Yeah.
Exactly. He drops the whole accent. He gets super real. Like I'm from Wilmington, Delaware.
I'm from Wilmington, Delaware, and I'm like, bro, bro, we're in Delaware, bro. This is where we live. I was like, bro, I needed that wholeheartedly. Okay. Next thing I would like to say is like, so what did you think was the moral of the story? Because in my opinion, I feel like Wes Anderson has a lot of like morals to his stories when he goes into like his films. Like, what would you say is the moral of the story?
Yeah, it's a bit hard. So first of all, let's go throughout the story. The ending of the story really is that he's trying to scheme everyone all this, but he's also trying to keep up morals because his daughter's telling him, look, doing slavery to get your thing across is terrible, right? But he's also trying to scheme everyone else so that he has money at the end, by trying to get them to pay up what he, scammed them into.
Yeah.
Right? And at the end, he has to pay it himself. He decides, okay, screw it all. I'll just pay everything myself. Forget all the little things I've been trying to get them each to individually go, I'll pay this much, I'll pay this much. He covers it all. And he ends broke. So I guess the moral would be that of do the moral and virtuous thing.
Okay, I got you. No, I can see what you mean.
Moral and virtuous thing. Like,
yeah.
Don't try scheming people or like doing slave labor, all that stuff, right?
No, I got you, yeah.
Pay it forward yourself.
Yeah. For me, it would be more on the lines of like the importance of family, and then like kind of like how do you want to be remembered, like hands down, like down to the line afterwards, right? Because like they're going through like all his like past history, like everything, like from the start of it, all they talk about is Anatolia and what Anatolia has done throughout like history, from like his different like schemes here and there, and like everybody remembers him as being this like I'm messing up the word. I'm gonna just say a philanthropist. Is that how you say it? Like a
philanthropist. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. And like he's eccentric, he's crazy, he's corrupt. Like he's like that's everybody remembers him like as, right? And like at this point, he's at his vulnerable setting. He's like, dang, I literally just survived another plane crash. I think this is it. I might gonna die. Might as well leave everything to my daughter, who I trust. And then they have a bad relationship because he sent her away and all this stuff here and there, and like she doesn't really trust him or also really know him. And the entire movie is them kind of building that relationships together. It's like at first it's really just him trying to figure out a way to cover the gap, but then like afterwards he starts realizing that like, wow, this being this person that I know is my daughter, I never knew who she is outside of that. Like to him it was just a successor, but afterwards like hanging out with her, going through the bad, talking to all these different people and seeing how well she is and like how she's kind of like him in some cases, especially with her intellect, especially with her way of words, especially with like just like literally just full on comprehension that like the people they're meeting are either idiots or they're completely bad or like they're going to find a way to kill her father. Like he's just seeing that, he's like, wow, I'm actually like really impressed. I'm proud. Like even to the point where he's starting to realize that she might not even be his daughter. He's like, listen, even if we find out later that you're not my daughter, can I just adopt you? Because he just realized that at the end of the day that like this is all that he needs. This is all that he needs. So that's why when he finishes up, he's seeing that like it's not gonna work. Because like he wants that security. He wants to win. That's what the start of the film is. He wants to win. But at the end of the time, like at the end of the movie,
I have to agree with that. Because at the end of the movie, he loses it all, but he still has a great relationship with his daughter.
He has a great relationship with his daughter, a great relationship with his family, which he didn't have, like his sons. All of his sons, either adopted or his. He didn't even know any of them more than and they lived with him more than she did. And at the end when he's just like because like literally they even get this point that like the first thing he ever did was he used to like wash dishes and stuff like that. No one ever believed him, right? But like he used to wash dishes, like that was like his first thing, and now that's what he's doing. But he's as happy as ever. And like he like at the end, I love that scene where they're just like they're both drinking and they're both chilling and like they're playing cards. Like it's simple. It's not his extravagant life that he used to have, but it's what he needed at the end. This is what he wins. This is how he saves his life from the majority of like all the stuff to do with like him going back and forth through death and literally getting to see all the bad choices he made has led him to this death and all the people he's kind of run in his past from his like ex-wives and everything like that to get to this point. He's learning that not only this is how he wants to live his life for the rest of the time, like, but he has won in a sense. Even though he's lost everything, he's won this family that will remember him as not this like philanthropist, not this eccentric, not this corrupt individual, but instead their father who washes dishes, plays cards, and just do what he can.
I have to bring up a scene that I think would really add to that. There's this scene, one of the scenes where so a lot of the times throughout this movie, when he passes out, right, it'll transition to him going up to heaven and having dreams in heaven and all that, right? In one of those scenes, right, near the beginning, he brings tribute to her mother.
Yeah.
His daughter's mother. And it's all this money, and the mother doesn't care about all that money. It doesn't mean anything now that he's in heaven.
Yo, exactly, bro.
But near the end of the movie, he's walking with his daughter, and that's better for him.
Exactly. Oh, especially because like in that scene, remember when he's like walking with his daughter, right? There's two. It seems like there's two different paths he could have gone on. You see how he's more walking up instead of walking down. I think that was like the parallelism that if he kept going the path of this, like trying to just be that wealthy guy, be that winner, be like who he's always like done and how he's always run things, right? He was going to go into that path that was going to be bad for him. But him walking with his daughter and like going more up, that's him just showing that he's changing. He's realizing that. I mean, even to that point, like you remember back in the movie, Scarlett Johansson's character, Cousin Hill, right? She literally talks about how both Anatoly's father and her father literally could not trust each other for the life of them. To the point where they had a whole like nerve gas poison war where both of them just got killed because of all that greed and all that just like bad intentions just corrupted them to the point where like even Anatoly's about to get killed by Benedict Cumberbatch's character Uncle Nubar, like, but he ends up through luck like surviving that whole ordeal, and then Benedict Cumberbatch's character Uncle Nubar ends up like dying in the process, bro, because he was still stuck in his ways, but Anatoly has begun to change.
What you mean?
Yeah.
Uncle Nubar couldn't let the hate out his heart.
No,
so he died with it.
Yeah.
And he died poetically on the plan
that he did not. He was completely out. He said he was out, and he died on the plan that he was completely out of. Everybody else, because I'm pretty sure. So it was. I think the people who were in the plan was Jeffrey Wright's character Marty, Prince Farouk was Riz Ahmed.
Scarlett Johansson was there.
Yeah, Scarlett Johansson was there.
Tom Hanks and
Bryan Cranston's character Regan and Leland. Who else was in the plan? I think it was just those. I think it was just those guys, and then also
those guys, also the terrorists.
Yeah. You're right. They were also part of the plan. But like you see, all of them are like the spectators to this like great big game that Anatoly was running. And then at the end, it's just like everybody's fine. Like they got what they wanted from the project. They got the money, and Anatoly doesn't get any money, but what he earns is that kind of family. But and then Benedict Cumberbatch, Uncle Nubar, who like legit, we have like this whole thing of like, is he Sister Liesl's father? Is he not Sister Liesl's father? What like who killed her mother? All this stuff, this back and forth. We realized that later down the line, honestly, if we think about it, Anatoly could have been Uncle Nubar if he just kept that kind of greed in his heart. But instead he let go of that and realized that there was something more important. Thanks to Sister Liesl. Mia, how do you say this name? Threppleton? I think it's Threppleton. Again, my viewers, I'm not going to be good with names. My apologies. But this is how I'm just going to try to pronounce it. But Mia Threppleton.
I think you're right. It's Threppleton.
Yeah, but just seeing it, I was like, wow. this is a beautiful story. Hands down, it reminds me of like how he does Grand Budapest or Rushmore or any of his other films. Like to me, Wes Anderson just brings out so much beauty into like even in a like comedy setting because he has like a lot of dry humor, a lot of dark humor, but it's really just like he knows how to craft a story so well where like you see one thing and it becomes something completely utterly beautiful and a moral of the story kind of like just guide to life. Like at the end, it's always a guide to life at the end. Who would you say was like your least favorite character though? Like after that,
I don't know. I don't think this had bad actors. I think everyone was doing a great job. I don't think I could pick anyone who was like, oh, a bad character in the movie.
Okay. Neither can I, but I just wanted to ask that just so like we can get that across. But I will say this: what was your favorite scene? This is a good point. This is like, what was your favorite scene, hands down, for this movie? Because I know mine. Scene.
To toss up between the fight between Anatoly and Uncle Nubar at the end, where they're running around and all that. That's one of them, and the other one is actually there's two more. I really like also the scene at the end of the movie where they're just sitting and playing poker with each other. And the way they just set that up, that was really good. But I also like the Michael Cera reveal scene.
Got you. For me, I would say definitely the Michael Cera reveal scene, bro. That just had me cracking up, bro. That was perfect. That was perfect. Other than that, I would also say I enjoyed this scene with Anatoly and Marty, Jeffrey Wright's character and Benicio del Toro's character, when they're like he's getting that blood transfusion because that scene to me was just like Marty is like Marty, that character, right? He's like, yo, this guy's actually crazy. This guy's actually crazy to think all this up and think he's gonna get away with it, bro. And he's like, you think you're slick, but at the same time, he has respect for him because Anatoly does tell him like what he's really thinking. At the end of the day, he's not lying to him. He's not using the same tactics because at that point he's also still changing because of Sister Liesel. So he like tells him what's up, and the guy's like, you know what? All right, I'll take some of that gap. I'll take some of that gap. Not all of it, because he ain't gonna get me again, but I'll take some of that gap out of that respect. Because Anatoly, instead of playing the usual games he plays, he tried something different and it worked. I think legitly.
First, he's trying to blow everybody up.
Yeah.
And then when the heart-to-heart came, he was like, all right, I got you.
Yeah. It's like, I feel like Anatoly had a set idea of how he was going to interact with each one of the shareholders for this big spanking plan.
Yeah.
But then, like, since like Sister Liesel, his daughter, was there the entire time, I feel like he had to keep on changing tactics every single time. And for some reason, those tactics worked. Especially like, because there was another guy who was a part of it. I just don't remember which character.
When you're talking about the guy at the casino.
The guy
who first meet the terrorists.
Yeah. The guy at the casino. Because remember, the guy at the casino gets shot, and then
no, he's about to get shot.
You're right. He's about to get shot, but then Anatoly steps in. He would have never done that before. Because he's all about his own preservation. But with his daughter being there, it legit warms his heart and changes the entirety of his scheme. It doesn't become a scheme anymore. Well, it's still a scheme, but at the end of the day, it becomes something entirely different. Where instead of using schemes, he's like being upfront. He's doing things he's never done before, and he's seeing that how that is working more than anything. Even like going back to your like one of your favorite parts about like how the basketball thing with the were they twins or just brothers? Were they supposed
to be partners? Just associates.
Just associates. Okay. When they're doing like with Tom Hanks and Bryan Cranston, when their characters are doing the whole basketball thing, right? I mean, were they gonna probably 100% lose? Probably, yeah. But then it's just like that kind of shout out when like Sister Liesel's like, I sent like that prayer out, and they low key made it, and they were able to like when the Prince Farouk was able to make that final shot, and it's just like it just seems like so many things changed when the daughter came into play, and they were all good, and he got to realize that. Those would definitely be like my like favorite scenes and like why for that, hands down. Oh, I will say this though. How would you have felt if he was able to get everything correct and then he was able to not have to take over the gap? Like, how would you feel about that? Like, what if, like, in like another universe, he was
Mm,
actually able to pay for the gap? Well, sorry,
interesting. What if?
not pay for the
Uh,
gap, but I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, he was like his plan actually worked, and everybody caught him
worked.
with the gap.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's an interesting. I don't know. Oh, it would have been interesting, right?
yeah,
To see it work out. Would have been a whole different end of the movie, right?
100%. Yeah,
Whole different end. I don't think it would further this idea of family, right?
no,
Because
it would
there are
not.
good things like the family starting to come to dinner with him and all that
Yeah,
because of her and all that. But the real problem would be he would still get the assassins on him,
yeah,
and then they would probably transfer to her, which would be the worst part, right?
exactly. Yeah, it's more
But it
like,
could be interesting. It's not like a bad change, but it's an
yeah.
interesting change. It's a possible change.
I feel like in that case, if his plan actually did work out, I feel like he would have just stayed the same.
Yeah.
Like, I had that, like, hands down, like at the end of the day, he lost, he gave more, but in the end, he still gained something. And like, that's definitely like just like what we were taking from this. Like, he lost a lot, hands down. He lost his paintings, he lost his houses, he lost his other houses, basically all of his money, but he gained a family, people who will be there when he dies and all that stuff, and he will die a better death than he originally thought he was gonna have.
So the comedy of this movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
I really like the dry humor of it all, especially when it comes to some of the fights. How they just like fly around. That was really cool. I really love that because I really love when Wes Anderson. Wes Anderson does all that stuff.
Yeah, I would definitely
It's really fun to see.
I would definitely say for me with closing remarks, I would just say as like it goes, like I was saying previously, viewers, if you're all still watching, please go check out more of Wes Anderson films. They have a lot of beauty to them. Hands down, if you love the Phoenician Scheme, you're gonna love the Grand Budapest Hotel. You're gonna love Rushmore. I would even recommend the French Dispatch, or even some of his animated work like Isle of Lost Dogs and the Fantastic
Which is
Mr.
great.
Fox. Though great movies, great movies. Because when it boils down to it, like I've said over and over again, his films are just so beautiful. Whether it's the characters, whether it's the scenery, there's just nothing bad I can say whenever I watch a Wes Anderson film. And there has even been some where I wasn't really vibing with that much, but at the end of the day, I still really enjoyed them because even if they weren't my cup of tea, there were still like thematic elements, and there's still a lot of underlying meanings behind everything that was in those movies, and I still was able to pick up on them, and I still was able to just truly enjoy them, hands down. But that will be all, my dear viewers, for this review of the Phoenician Scheme. Comment, let us know what you thought about the Phoenician Scheme yourselves. Let us know any Wes Anderson films that you really enjoy. If you want to let us know anything about what your favorite characters were in the Phoenician Scheme, just tell us. Just tell us. Just type away. Just type away. We love to hear from you. We love to hear from you. We want to hear from you. But I would like to bid you a farewell. Again, this is the Connoisseur, and
This is the Master of Cinema.
100%. We will catch you next time. Peace!
Farewell.